Hillsborough Beach. Beautiful. Look at that day. South Florida, folks. It was like 66 degrees today. A little cool, but wow, what a crisp, beautiful, sunny day. And West Palm Beach, there's a boat show going down here, so it's really crowded. Happy Friday. We got another great... What's up, Skycam? How you doing, Skycam? We got another great show for you. Starting off with our Commander-in-Chief, President Trump. He, along with our Secretary of Defense, friend of mine, guy I used to work with for a very long time at Fox, Pete Hegseth, were in the Oval Office earlier today, where President Trump introduced the Air Force's brand new sixth-generation fighter jet. Take a look and pay attention to the name.
At my direction, the United States Air Force is moving forward with the world's first sixth-generation fighter jet. Number six, sixth generation. Nothing in the world comes even close to it. And it'll be known as the F-47. The generals picked a title. And it's a beautiful number, F-47. It's something the likes of which nobody has seen before in terms of all of the attributes of a fighter jet. There's never been anything even close to it, from speed to maneuverability to what it can have to payload. And this has been in the works for a long period of time. After a rigorous and thorough competition between some of America's top aerospace companies, the Air Force is going to be awarding the contract for the next generation air dominance platform to Boeing.
That's right. We've had the F-7, we have the F-15, F-35, and now we got the F-47, appropriate name for President Trump, 47th president. Awesome. Also, he spoke about the improved rate of military recruitment since he and Pete Hegseth took office. Take a look at this. You have the shot. Do you have the shot, my man? Do you have the shot? MD, Mad Dog, Seven Samurai Mad Dog.
I do. Here it is.
Play it.
We have had record people wanting to join our military in the last 2.5 months, literally since this, I think probably since the election, November 5th, but especially since we came to office and since I announced Pete. He's young, he's smart, he's strong, he loves it, and they love him. But we've had record numbers of people wanting to join our military. Now, if you go back 6 months, it was the exact opposite. You had record numbers of people not wanting to join the military. Now you have record numbers of people wanting to be in our military. And that's a great honor. That shows you we're really on the right track.
It's one of those things that Trump said it was going to happen. He was going to revamp the military. He's got DEI out of the military. There are only two genders. First thing he said when he was sworn in, took the oath of office. There are only two. We now recognize only two genders, and guess what? The military will be the same way. He's cleaning up the military, and as he points out, the recruitment is becoming a lot easier for the United States of America. It's amazing. Pete Hegseth doing a great job. A lot of people were worried that he didn't have the experience. By the way, I will say one more time, Lloyd Austin had the experience. What did he do first chance he could? He got sick. Something went wrong. He went to the hospital. He didn't tell anyone he was in the emergency room, and he told his subordinate, don't let anyone know where I am. The United States Department of Defense Secretary said, don't let the president or anyone know where I am. Do you know what kind of risk he put America in when he did that for the 12 hours he was gone under the radar? Doesn't matter how much experience you have. Pete Hegseth was never do something like that. Pete Hegseth is smarter than that. Pete Hegseth is smarter than Lloyd Austin. I'll take Pete Hegseth 10 times over one Lloyd Austin. All right, let's bring in the representative for Colorado's 4th Congressional District, Congresswoman Lauren Boebert. Congresswoman, good friend of mine as well. Really, really good to have you on the show. First time on the new show. Thank you for joining us. So much going on, my friend. I just like to start with this. How great is it now? You guys are loving it in D.C., I'm sure, but I've never seen Dems squirm the way they're squirming right now.
Yes, I have never seen the Democrat Party so divided. It is usually the Republican Party that is divided, but we have a leader. America has a commander in chief. There is a mandate for us to follow. And so it's very easy for us to unite at this time. And the Democrats are fighting over who the leader of their party is. I mean, is it Jasmine Crotchet, who is unfortunately kind of more and more ratchet by the day? Or is it AOC and Bernie Sanders? They're pretty angry at Chuck Schumer for approving their spending levels in the CR. So they're really trying to find themselves right now. Even Gavin Newsom is trying to pretend that he suddenly has a newfound understanding of conservatives and the American voter and saying, well, maybe they don't want this woke nonsense. We understand that political play that he is more than likely making there. But we have President Donald J. Trump back in the White House. He has the mandate, he knows the agenda, he has the vision, and he has cast it for 4 years now, saying what we need to do to get our country back on track. And now it is up to us in our very slim majorities in both the House and the Senate to accomplish that vision and help the president carry it out.
So Congressman, you make a great point. Who is the leader of the Democrat Party? I literally heard this morning that Joe Biden said he could help out. Joe, he's half gone Joe, three-quarters gone Joe. But so AOC, you point out Jasmine Crockett, Jazzy Jazz Crockett. So what happened now, they're searching for their leader, right? And this happened yesterday. AOC and Bernie Sanders, among others, met in, I believe it was Colorado. I can't remember where it was, but take a listen to them trying to figure out who, it's Arizona, that's right, they tell me it's Tempe, Arizona, if I'm not mistaken, trying to figure out who the leader is going to be. They're all trying to bubble up. Here's AOC.
We have a message for Mr. Trump. And that is, we will not allow you to move this country into.
Donald Trump does see the immense pressure that working people are under. But his answer to that pressure is an America that operates on the logic of every man for himself. And I do say every man for himself because he sure doesn't believe in women's rights. But now that Trump is back in power, we can see it clear as day. He's handed the keys of this country to Elon Musk and is selling off the United States for parts to the richest people on the planet for a kickback.
So that was a little bit of Bernie first, but there's AOC. Congresswoman Boebert, do you think AOC has the brains, the chops, the support? Can she be president of the United States?
I will say that AOC has the charisma to woo a crowd. There's no doubt about that. She certainly has a following, but unfortunately, she's still trying to sell the same argument and narrative that Democrats like Chuck Schumer are trying to sell. Chuck Schumer was just on The View mocking American workers, business owners, saying, I built this with my own hands and I don't want to pay tax money. Well, that's basically what she is saying when she's saying President Trump hears the American people, the American workers outcry and is saying every man for himself. She's saying, well, you're not doing it alone and you can't do it alone. You need the federal government or you will never succeed. And that is not the American dream. We aren't looking to be dependent upon the American government or the federal government, and we are not looking for handouts. The American people want to be able to provide a hand up and to accomplish things. But when AOC goes straight for women's rights, I don't know how this ever passes the smell test. We have more women in Congress than ever, seemingly anyway. We certainly are allowed. I was never prevented from running for election because I was a woman. And President Trump has always elevated women, both in his first term as the 45th president and now in his second as the 47th. We have Secretary Kristi Noem. You have Caroline Leavitt, who's absolutely crushing it in the press briefing room each and every day. And he has always had positions for these women. And, for those who may want to counter a woman that I guess is maybe out of a job job as of yesterday in the Department of Education. Well, we had Linda McMahon say my role is to work myself out of a job here, because we don't need this department of administrators when our children's education is failing. But certainly she will be able to fill up a room. Nobody's denying that. But is that really what the American people are wanting? That's certainly not what they voted for in this last election. And when President Trump overwhelmingly won the Electoral College and the popular vote. And so they're going to have to find a different vein that is not just we are poor and suffering victims. There will have to be a victor mentality that comes somewhere, because Americans are champions. That is the core of who we are, and so that's why Republicans, especially Republican women, are going to stand up and have that winning message, because we never cried that we're a victim and can't make it without the government.
His chief of staff, Susie Wiles, a woman.
Yes,
Brooke
yes.
Rollins getting egg prices down below where he took over, bringing him down from the Bidenomic disaster that was happening. Jazzy Jasmine Crockett was out there saying, really almost inciting the crowd against Elon Musk and Tesla. Now, we've seen several dealerships go up in flames. We've seen several Cybertrucks vandalized, some of them torched, burned. Innocent people driving Cybertrucks are now fearful of their lives. It's terrible what's going on. Jasmine Crockett says, keep your voice going against Elon Musk. And then that nutjob tampon Tim Walz, who thought he was going to be vice president, says, holds up a cell phone and says, look, Tesla going down, and the crowd roars. He goes, it's going down. He wants an American corporation domiciled in Texas to fail. These people are awful people. Throw up some of the VO while Congresswoman reacts to the violence against Elon Musk and Tesla and how un-American it is for the Democrats to be acting this way. Your thoughts, Congresswoman?
Well, the Democrat Party has always wanted American businesses to fail. I mean, we saw this during COVID when they were shutting down small businesses, even local churches and schools, interrupting the future education of our children and their future successes. They were cheering when the Keystone XL pipeline was shut down, and they were saying, well, just find another job. Here in Colorado, we've been regulated into poverty. Our good energy jobs have been regulated out, and there's a work to welfare program here initiated in the state of Colorado by Democrats. And so it doesn't surprise me that they want an American company to go under, an American company that is thriving without merely the subsidies from the federal government and federal government propping it up. They want Elon to feel the pain, because they are feeling the pain of the cuts that are being made to all of their money laundering schemes, whether it's USAID and these NGOs or whatever the kickbacks may be that some are receiving. It sure seems like they're receiving them. And, when conservatives have an issue with a company's stance or policies, well, we just don't give them our money anymore. We don't go and destroy them. We just say, okay, you don't get to have my money anymore. Whether that's Bud Light or Target indoctrinating our children with just vile sexual objects or gay pride or whatever that may be, we just said, okay, we're not going to shop with you. We didn't burn down Targets or anything like that. I mean, I guess my friend Bob Ritchie did blow up some Bud Lights, but I'm pretty sure he bought those and just use those as target
That's
practice.
my favorite video of all time. You nailed my favorite
video. He wasn't going into a
video.
local bar and saying, I'm taking out all your Bud Light right now. So, there is a difference between boycotting and a straight vandalism. And I hope President Trump is serious and is able to, he usually is, and is able to implement up to 20 years in jail time for the vandalism that is taking place. And, we can't talk about that without also mentioning the horrific attempted murder charges, I would classify them, with the swatting that is going on by the left as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. And by the way, Pam Bondi, another woman attorney general that Trump appointed, is going after these Tesla lunatics, vandals, and charging them with domestic terror, as she should. Just your thoughts on this being raised to the level of domestic. Let's not forget that the other attorney general from last time, Attorney General Merrick Garland, called parents domestic terrorists just for stopping the CRT going on in their schools that they didn't want their kids to listen to. So if that rises to the level of domestic terror. I would say that burning and torching and putting people's lives at risk would be as well. Quick thought on that before we let you go and talk about your friend Rob Ritchie, a.k.a. the Great Kid Rock, and his blowing up Bud Light, a case of Bud Light.
Yes. Well, so I have one Tesla dealership in Loveland, Colorado, here in Colorado's 4th district. They've been vandalized at least 5 times now, and twice there have been arrests made with cars being caught on fire, set on fire. And this is egregious, and it is a level of domestic terrorism. Certainly, moms and dads and grandparents voicing their concerns at a school board meeting does not reach that level. But this is something that I'm glad that the Attorney General is going after. And just so I don't cut you off short, I have been in grandma mode, and my phone may not be as charged as it should be for the rest of our hit here.
Yeah, okay. If it goes, we'll know why it went. Did you guys find Kid Rock blowing up some Bud Lights? If they did that, look at this. Here we go. They're great. You got it. You got sound. There we go.
Concise as possible.
There you go. That's what we're talking about, Congressman Boebert. That was a great American moment right there. We love that.
Yes, that was fantastic. And, the media likes to have fun and make up stories. So I'm glad we got to throw this one in here just to kind of stick it back to them. But I hope everyone does stay safe, and the domestic terrorism that's taking place comes to a stop.
Yep. I'm not sure they're already calling for March 29th, a day of rage against Tesla as a group. And God forbid Soros gets his fingers wrapped around fingerprints on that. We're going to blow that one open as well.
Eric, with the Department of Education, they're mad at us for abolishing this at a federal level, not necessarily taking away the funding, but we also have teachers who are closing down their classrooms to protest the closure. So they're not even doing their job. And, it's the administrators that we want to really get a check on there.
Congressman, we got to go. I love having you. We'll get you back very, very soon.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. Congressman Lauren Boebert, Colorado. We'll be right back, folks. There it is, Dallas, D-Town, they call it. Pretty cool town, kind of cosmopolitan, little cowboy, little city. I don't know. They claim to have great barbecue, but I think Kansas City will beg to differ. Where is the best barbecue in America? Where's the best barbecue? Hit me up on social media. Let me know where you think the best barbecue in America is. Texas, South Carolina thinks they got the best. Kansas City thinks they have the best. I don't know. Oklahoma probably thinks they have the best. I don't know. You tell me. Let's bring in National Border Patrol Council Vice President Art Del Cueto. Art, really good to have you, my friend. Yesterday, Stephen Miller, the story of the judge blocking Trump's deportation of Tren de Aragua folks, criminals, it's ripping me. It makes me so angry. It probably makes a lot of people in America angry. We elected Trump to close that border and get those thugs, lunatics out. Stephen Miller put it all together in one short, little, concise soundbite. Listen.
You cannot have a democracy where single individual district court judges can assume the full total powers of the commander-in-chief. Even on the Supreme Court, it takes agreement of 5 Supreme Court justices to change a federal policy. 5. A single district court judge out of 700 cannot set policy for the entire nation, let alone on national security and public safety issues.
And are someone who's on the border, how much does that piss you off when we're actually deporting criminals and you got some lunatic liberal activist judge stopping that process?
It blows my mind, to be honest. Look, the process is this simple. They were in the country illegally. Like you can add, the rest of it of they've committed crimes. When they arrived at their own country after they were deported, they were immediately incarcerated in their country, which just shows that they had some kind of criminal background in their country as well. Obviously, when they came into the U.S., it's harder for us to have determined it because during the last 4 years of the Biden administration, all they had to do was come across and say, hey, I'm here for asylum, and they'd get released. And, the Border Patrol, ICE, they would run their fingerprints, but if they didn't have any priors in the United States, and most of them didn't because they'd never been here before, nothing would pop up, so they'd release them. But for a judge to say, hey, we want your criminals back, that's basically what he's saying. These people were criminals to begin with. Second of all, they were in the country illegally. It's that simple. There's no reason why anybody should be up in arms about deporting these individuals. And I don't want them in the country, much less in our communities, around our schools, around our children. So to have somebody in a leadership position like this judge to say, hey, hold on, bring them back, is just absurd to me. I don't know what world we're living in with these people.
I don't either. And they got slammed in the last election for protecting that kind of junk and garbage, and it's going to happen again. This judge, Judge Boasberg, now Laura Loomer, who's a very popular, she does very good work. She does investigative journalism online. She's a very popular influencer. Says that she found a link between this Judge Boasberg and his daughter, who may be taking money from USAID in an NGO, running the NGO with the express purpose of housing and protecting criminal aliens. Your thoughts on that?
Zero surprises at all. Look, there's people that have seen the mess at the border, have seen the chaos with the illegal immigration, and they've managed to figure out how to make money off of this. So, realistically, they don't want the chaos to end, because if the chaos continues, they're going to continue to make more and more money. So, I think they need to investigate that further. And at the same time, they need to start looking into these NGOs and these nonprofit organizations that were assisting a lot of these groups that were coming into the country, and open up their books. There needs to be some transparency in how they went about their business, because you got to remember, a lot of these unaccompanied juveniles that everyone was talking about on the left side, saying, oh, kids in cages, kids in cages. Well, they're the ones that were putting the kids in those cages to begin with during the Obama administration. It wasn't Trump during his administration. And at the same time, during their administration, when we had the huge groups of unaccompanied individuals come across also. Where are they? So we need to open up the books on these NGOs and find out who were they turning over a lot of these children to as well.
Yeah, and a lot of the NGOs, a lot of these people are doing business in their churches. Sometimes they're
absolutely
Christian churches, and they're really hiding and housing some of these people and taking money from USAID. I know I'm a Christian, I'm a Catholic. I'm supposed to say open your arms to everyone, but they're breaking the law. I mean, do it by the law. I open the arms. Increase legal immigration, not illegal immigration.
Right. Look, and work hand in hand as well. Look, it's people look at me and they cross their eyes sometimes. I am pro-immigration. I'm not against immigration.
Same.
I'm pro-immigration, but it's got to be legal immigration. Yep. And when you start opening the doors and allow all this illegal immigration, it adds more money into the cartels, because they're the only ones that are going to benefit from the loopholes. They're the ones that are, bringing people in. They're doing the sex trafficking, the unaccompanied children. So the only people that are making money off of this is these drug cartels, these human smugglers. So how do the NGOs and these Christian organizations work hand in hand? They talk to the men and women within the agencies. They talk to the National Border Patrol Council. Hey, look, my number's listed. They can call me at any time. They can find me on social media. I'm willing to speak with anyone and explain to them that the groups that are coming across, they're affecting the right side of the aisle and the left side of the aisle.
Art,
I
got 1 minute. I want you to talk to the two mayors. Eric Adams had a come to Jesus moment, decided he wasn't going to be a sanctuary city. He was against it, probably because he was being investigated by the Democrats. Michelle Wu, the mayor of Boston, says, you know what? We're loud and proud sanctuary city. We'll take them. What's Art Del Cuerdo's message to Michelle Wu, mayor of Boston?
It's stop creating that magnet to allow criminal behavior in the country. You owe it to not just your constituents that voted for you, but all your constituents on the left and the right side of the aisle. They all deserve to be safe in their homes. Their kids should have a safe education. When you send out this kind of, conversation and message to the media, all it does is it creates a magnet for criminals to enter in your communities. That's what they're doing.
I'm going to leave it right there. Art Del Cuerdo, stay safe, my friend. Stay safe, and we'll have you back again soon. Thank you, Art. Folks, 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. We'll be right back. Covington, Kentucky. Covington. I don't know where that is. I've been to Louisville. I've been to so many places in Kentucky. Covington, not sure. Nice little river. All right, a prominent conservative voice who's been dubbed America's psychiatrist claims to be able to recognize and diagnose Trump derangement syndrome. We kid you not. And she says it's not a joke. It's a legitimate psychological phenomenon. Let's welcome that doctor, Dr. Carol Lieberman. Dr. Lieberman, tell us, I mean, I know what the signs are, but how did you come to realize that it's diagnosable, recognizable?
Well, this actually has been around for a little while, like from the time that he was president first. There was some of this, but it has boomed. It is worse now than ever. You would think the election would have settled it. He was elected. They weren't. It was too big to rig, and that's that. But instead, the hatred has grown. For the time, I've tentatively defined it as, and I say tentatively because I'm working on a DSM, diagnostic and statistical manual type definition and description and so on, and submitting it to them, to the American Psychiatric Association to see whether they'll actually include it. Which of course I think politically they're not going to go for. But in any case, the definition is Trump derangement syndrome, an irrational quasi-psychotic hatred of anything Trump, resulting in rage and over-the-top efforts to destroy him and his work. In other words, it's not really just about his policies, what he promised, what he's putting together already, what he's been signing, the executive orders that he signed so far and so on. That explains it for some people. Women are more likely to relate it to that. But men
Hold
have
on,
more.
wait. This is interesting. So women are more likely to have